It's May 2023. The spring real estate market is heating up. It's been a year since my last real estate video, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but houses have been increasing in 2023. I think the Canadian market or economy is slowly heading for disaster, and I have no idea what to do, or actually I don't even know when it'll happen. It should have happened by now because everything points towards prices going down. I want to spend more time reviewing and commenting on real estate on this channel. I've been focusing a lot on investing and options, and I've been neglecting real estate. I've actually just been waiting for prices to drop or something to happen. I want something big to happen so I can talk about it and provide insight instead of just monthly updates that don't really mean much. This video will briefly discuss what's been happening in Canada. Obviously, my area of expertise is Ontario, but I'll do my best to discuss other markets. I'll comment at the end about my opinion and why or how my clients are still buying properties. Can we start with the obvious? Nobody expected housing prices to increase. I know February 2022 to February 2023 will have the largest drop. The media love talking about, 20% drop in a year. Feb 2022 was the peak. That was before rates increased, and obviously sales dropped and selling prices dropped as well. I don't advise anyone to read too much into those market predictions from the Canadian Real Estate Association, the Bank of Canada, or even RBC. Don't base your housing decision or housing situation on people who have gotten every prediction wrong. Also, stop focusing on things selling over asking or under asking. How many times do I have to say this? The listing price is usually strategic. Blind bidding wars are the best way for sellers to get way more than they were expecting. It's bad for buyers because it's blind bidding, but it's good for sellers. So sold over asking means nothing, sold under asking means nothing. Focus on how much the neighbors paid. In large cities, there's more than enough data to determine a reasonable amount to pay. Looking at the stats from Jan, Feb, and March 2023, hopefully all the tables are legible in the final edit. We have a lot of info to digest. Selling prices have been increasing from fall 2022. It seems like we've bottomed out in October, but look at the small increases from January to March. I wasn't expecting this at all. Sales are down a lot. A lot of people are out of the market. If they wanted to upsize, their current house doesn't sell for as much, but also their new mortgage rates might be a lot higher than what they're willing to accept. So they've canceled the upsize. Selling prices are down year over year. That's great. I'm happy prices are down, but to be honest, that's not a lot. That's not a big drop. We're back to October 2021 prices, but with 3 times higher rates. I'm going to speculate and try to come up with a few reasons why the housing market hasn't tanked. Where was this bubble everyone promised? I never thought there would be a crash. I even said so back in March 2020, and I still believe so now, but I do think prices will go down and should go down, albeit slowly. First up, housing shortage and immigration. Kind of the same reason, but let's start with immigration. According to Stats Canada, the Canadian population grew by just over 1 million in 2022 alone. So 3% of our entire population arrived last year alone. The government plans at least another 500,000 new immigrants in the next few years, every year for the next few years. The question is, where will we house everyone? We'll have an increase in demand, and clearly there's an issue with supply. We aren't building houses quick enough, and when we are building, it's not even close to being affordable. New immigrants are like a temporary boost to housing. How can people continue affording these high rates and high prices when wages aren't even keeping up with inflation? Don't even get me started on inflation. Apparently inflation is down as of May 2023 to under 5%. I think I saw 4.2. But I'm not buying it, though. That's not a real number. Those aren't real numbers. My groceries are up 30%. Mortgage payments and rent payments are up way more than 5%, even though apparently those aren't included in the CPI numbers. Even though I said housing prices decreased from last year, it's actually more expensive due to interest rates. Your monthly payment is higher, even though housing prices are lower. Even renting has gotten more expensive. I don't know how a single income person or family can afford to buy or rent while trying to save for retirement or just enjoy life. One issue the markets are having, the large markets, Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto, is the shortage of single-family housing. Even though I just said don't rely on predictions, I don't have all the data, so here's my research. Canada will be short by 120,000 rental units in a few years. Don't try to blame landlords. This is strictly policy and red tape. It takes forever to get approvals and applications. This is speaking from experience. It takes forever to get plans approved and land rezoned. To make matters worse, not only does it take forever to build anything, the closing costs or development costs that builders have to pay the city have increased, at least in Toronto, by 46%. How are investors or builders supposed to rent out units while also trying to be cash flow positive or at least cash flow neutral with these crazy price hikes? Remember when everyone was waiting for defaults or distressed sales? Whatever happened to those? I kept hearing housing crash spring 2022. Then it was, oh, we need 6 months for housing to follow the rate increases. Okay, then it was fall 2022 and then 2023. And now I'm hearing people say, oh, we need 5 years for rates to affect housing prices. Okay, well, probably. Everyone who has a fixed rate is fine until they refinance, until their term is up. So you won't see the sales here. That's like 30% of potential sales off the market. Why would someone who locked in a 1.5% 5-year rate sell their house and potentially move to 5.5% fixed rate? Then the ultimate kick the can down the road strategy. Some variable mortgages have a fixed payment, but the interest to principal ratio changes. This means if you had a $3,000 mortgage payment, let's say $1,500 was interest and $1,500 principal, as the rates rise, your interest payment moves up to $2,700 and your principal is only $300. It's good for someone who wants to keep their house and not default, but it's bad when you consider the downside of this is that the mortgage timeline extends. If you had a 20-year mortgage, the reduction in principal payment changed the timeline to 30 years. And then when rates increased again, it moved to 40 years. It's just extending the problem, kicking the can down the road. Every article and every comment was saying we'll see defaults and distressed sales, but looking at the stats, 0.16% of mortgages are in arrears in Canada. That's the lowest in 30 years. The lowest amount of people defaulting in 30 years is now when rates have increased 7 times in the last year. I'm going to stop with the facts and stats and go to more anecdotes and opinions. Since I'm a realtor, I'm deep in the Ontario real estate game, and funny enough, I'm still getting a lot of leads, mainly from YouTube subscribers, so thanks for reaching out. I know you think I'm biased towards higher prices. The more houses are, the more I'll make, right? Because I earn a percentage of the housing price. In theory, yes, but actually all my clients are priced out. All my investors are priced out. They're waiting for a decline. If prices go down, I'll do more business. It will benefit me. That being said, if you're wondering how people are still buying or how people can still afford, I'll break down my 5 transactions so far in 2023. One client sold in Burlington because the cost of living in Ontario is too high. They're moving to Alberta. The next door neighbor approached me to buy the house for her daughter, so I did a little double sale. One client has a 3-bedroom and they just found out they're having a 3rd child, so they're upgrading to a 4-bedroom. One client just got a big promotion and her spouse just became a doctor, so their family income tripled. They can now go from renting to owning. My most recent purchase, my client found a $2 million teardown in a super expensive area. I know it's $2 million just for the land. They want to build a house and they found the perfect spot. They each own a condo, so they're selling both condos and combining their equity and their income to buy and build the house. I'm just saying these to show that not everyone can wait or wants to wait for big moves in the housing prices or the housing market or rates. They want to buy a house to live in, not for a quick flip or investment. They have to live somewhere. They can afford the mortgage, they can afford the payments, and they found the right house. I'm going to end it here. I already feel like this video is dragging on. Let me know your thoughts. I'm interested to hear more from people outside of Ontario and BC. What's the market sentiment? What are you seeing in your neighborhood? Are you an owner? Are you a renter? Are you able to live and save for retirement or for a down payment? Are you even interested in buying in the first place? That's all for this video. Thanks for watching and tune into the next one.